Ooh, effects.
Effects. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Geek Fest Live. As you know, I am Mick, and I'm joined, as always, by my partner in crime, the madman, Casey Plott.
A pleasure, as always. Thank you, my friend.
Well, we got a very awesome guest with us tonight.
One of probably the best guests ever.
That's right.
Ever.
He is
no pressure.
I would call him one of the foremost authorities on streaming TV shows right now.
I would concur with that.
Why not? I'll take it. If you'll give it to me, I'll take it. I'm not turning anything down these days.
Smart man.
Obviously, I'm here. No,
Yes. Standards lowered. Welcome to Geek Fest Live.
Welcome to Geek Fest Live. I'm Jeff Dwoskin. When I'm not doing other stuff, I'm here. What's up?
Two very special shows.
No, I'm excited to hang with you guys.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on, man. It's been a while, but we're glad to have you here. It's a very special episode to talk Kenobi. Everybody's excited because I got excited. I rewatched it yesterday.
I rewatched and rewatched leading up to Friday. So
I
just had to marinate.
I've watched all 6, and then I watched 3 of them twice.
Nice, very nice. Let me guess the 3. I'm gonna say it was episode 1, episode 5, and episode 6.
Damn, dude, that's right on.
Those are my favorites, and I think that's a universal thing. Like those were the 3 best in my opinion.
I had to go back to 1. I can hear myself, so I don't know if one of you guys.
Will echo.
Let me pull that down on them. How's that?
No, you're good. When I was done, sometimes it's nice to go back to 1 and kind of rewatch how something started. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of went and did that. I'm excited to hear what you guys think about the show and talk about it.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome, and I do something similar with that. I did it with Mandalorian with both seasons. I do the same thing because it's always interesting the stuff they tie in, the things that you didn't catch the first time around that they specifically laid out for you. And this show did not fail to do that.
No, I'm not gonna lie. The reason I saw 5 and 6 twice is because I watched it, didn't tell my wife, and then watched it with her as if I was watching it for the first time. But rewatching 1, that was on me.
Nice.
That's very fair. Well, before we get into it, I do want to introduce, of course, Jeff Dwoskin. Make sure you check out his shows, Classic Conversation, where he has great interviews with tons of fun celebrity guests and comedians all the time. And also his show, Crossing the Streams, where he and an amalgamation of awesome people get together every week and they discuss what you should watch. So you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Jeff?
Yeah, Crossing the Streams. And, happy to say you were one of the very first supporters of the show. I think you actually did the first logo that we used, which broke 50 copyright laws. But eventually but the love was there and we used it. So thank you. I always appreciate that. Crossing the Streams we do every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. There's the 77 shows are on my YouTube channel. If you search out Jeff Dwoskin on YouTube, you'll find those there. We go live every Wednesday and we talk about usually 4 or 5 shows that you should be binging. We don't usually cover whatever is hot at the moment. That's like stuff for Mick and Casey. Occasionally we do. Like if something's like Queen's Gambit, you could not talk about when that was on. But generally we kind of go broad, and like usually it's stuff that is older that maybe you missed, or things that are just random. I mean, Sal picks out rom-coms that are probably new, but no one's going to watch those. So it's the only way you're going to find out about them anyway. Occasionally, like I did Hustle recently, just because, but that which was great. But, nice. But those are the things. Usually it's a wider thing. And then we bring guests on and then they bring their perspectives. Like we have one ongoing guest. He just loves British stuff. So, there's just, a lot of stuff kind of gets baked in there. So I think if you look at like the 75 episodes, 77 times 5, and sometimes we warn you too, like don't watch this, so that's good.
That is true.
And then my podcast, Classic Conversations, is a pop culture interview show where, talk to, lots of cool people, usually older shows. Like I've had like the stars of the Happy Days and Love Boat. I'm excited next week or so. I just got to edit it. I do have one of the main stars from the Orville on. So I got to interview that. And so I'll have that. Actually, I should have actually 2 of them, but I haven't done the second one yet. So I never jinx anything. I never say it until it's recorded. But so I'm excited about that. And yeah, so that's my sci-fi cred right there. Whatever.
You didn't listen. You didn't tell us anything about it. We didn't.
No.
This first we're hearing about it with the Orville.
It's awesome.
I love the Orville. I wish it was Scott Grimes. No,
the one question you got to ask him is, how did you go from like a 7-year-old to an 18-year-old in 1 year between Critters 1 and Critters 2?
Right. No, it wasn't Scott. Scott was like one of those. Sometimes when you reach out to people, you don't hear, or they kindly say no, or they say yes. I think Scott Grimes was his, and again, it's never him. He doesn't know he exists, but it's always we'll be passing on this amazing opportunity. Something like that.
Totally understandable.
They're always really nice about it, but it's like, thank you.
I'm anxious for that. I love the Orville, so I can't wait to hear your interview.
The Orville is genius.
Yeah, it is.
It's genius. If you're not caught up on New Horizons,
brilliant. It's
so
fantastic.
good.
What they did 2 episodes ago, episode 3, was awesome.
Episode 4, it's scary, and then it's interesting because I didn't realize, I was listening to something today, is like the whole Mocklin thing with the discarded females is very China government.
Yeah.
He
throws a lot of parallels in there.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one until I heard someone else talking about it, and I go, oh crap. That's that. And then, anyway, we're here to talk Obi-Wan. That's fair.
We're getting into our sci-fi.
We'll sci-fi around.
Yeah.
No, so listen, I want to go over everybody's rating for the show now, and then I'm going to check it at the end and see if during the talk, if anything changes. But to kick it off, I will say, I usually give it a 5 out of 5 rating, or I give out of my top 5 rating or whatever. I'm going to give this a 4. I would give it a 5, but there are some plot things which are Star Wars. It's Star Wars. It's just what it is. So I don't think you can give Star Wars a perfect score. Maybe Empire. That's the only one I actually would, but just because of some of the plot things. But it was. I loved it. I absolutely loved the show. I thought it was fantastic.
Jeff, what you got?
Yeah,
I'm gonna give it a 3.5, and I can back this up. So but go ahead, Casey.
All right, I'm straight up 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we get into. I mean, this takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. Right. This 6 episodes really spans a lot of stuff. Goes to a lot of different worlds. One thing I wanted to check with you guys, like, with all the different worlds that they went to, like, what were some of your favorites? Like, I really dug that city Blade Runner type world that they were in the second episode.
Yeah.
I thought that was just very cool, kind of how they had to go about it. It was very not Star Wars in a lot of ways, but I thought it worked really well.
Yeah, I thought those were cool. Those episode 2, 3, I think you're talking about. Like, that was a interesting adventure. So, do you want to cover like first, like what kind of brought us together, which was the whole concept of people being upset because they know what happens,
right?
Yeah, you point to like I had said it in a TikTok video I did, and then we got it talking about it, and I liked your point on that. I want you to talk to that, but my whole point was a lot of people were complaining about, we know what happens, we know Obi-Wan doesn't die. This, I'm like, yeah, I mean, no shit. Like, that's, of course we know that, but that doesn't mean that there can't be a journey that's interesting in this. And I was kind of getting annoyed by it, but like Jeff, you had some good points on that. I wanted to, if you want to like elaborate.
So my thoughts on this are, it does take away from the suspense. If young Leia and Obi-Wan are not going to die, then when they're escaping and they're shooting and they have to make a plan, you're like, well, of course this plan's going to work. You just know, right? There's just certain things you can't escape from your brain because they meet up 8-10 years later, right? You know what happens. So my issue in general, like with the prequels or this or the Solo movie, is I call them like the home movies, right? So it's like everyone sits around and talks about things that happened, right? And so like in Star Wars, the original trilogy, you knew Kessel Run, you knew like all these things. There was a Clone Wars, like there's all these things we knew about. And you build up this whole world in your head, this whole mythos in your head. When you show people then that you're not going to hit it, right? I mean, it's like, and you start to create these issues where everything now has to connect, where nothing really ever had to connect, and no one was complaining because no one thought about whether they did connect or not. C-3PO was built by Anakin. All the stormtroopers are Jango Fett. There's a clone. It's like this has to happen. It's like let's just make Owen mad at Obi-Wan, but really not explain it because he was kind of gruffy in Star Wars. It's like it's like so it's like all these things and that were never meant to be threaded because you're going backwards instead of just go forwards. Which is the other issue that they have, which is everything has to tie into the Skywalkers. So they keep going backwards, right? And so just go forwards. Just go forwards. There seems to be like a whole galaxy here. I mean, it all happens in a galaxy far, far away. So we assume the galaxy's got to be somewhat large, right?
With other stories.
There's so many stories. There's so many stories you can tell, right? I mean, it's like it just seems that there's they like Mandalorian was going great, and then they still managed to crutch it, even though they were killing it, to bring in Skywalker. You know what I mean? It's like, and then it's like, then you have to think, okay, well, now when all those, the movies going forward, when they did all that, where was Baby Yoda? Where Grogu? You know what I mean? It's like it starts to create these things that you shouldn't have ever had to think about. That's where my head is. So.
That's fair. And actually, that's a really great point because I'm very similar to that. You can't ever hit these movies. You're not ever going to hit with these shows, with these movies. There's always going to be enough of a miss because it's not what I thought of. It's not what, so-and-so and my friend had discussed years back and how we would have done it. And, there are no stakes. It's almost just like sitting around and getting a campfire story. That's the way I have to enjoy it and go looking at it. And that's the way I went into this. And that's why that worked. That's why Rogue One worked, I think, fantastically well. And also Rogue One was good because you got just a little taste of how terrifying Vader was. So this going back and kind of retroactively throwing them back together and creating that fight and that struggle between them, as awesome as it was, and the kid in me still loved watching it. It did detract from my mind, and I did start playing mental gymnastics with the very line that, when at last we met, I was but the learner, now I am the master. Yeah. And the whole time I'm listening to that line in my brain for the last 2 episodes going, but what? Like he dragged him through fire, which was awesome. Like, what is going on here? So, yeah, it is difficult because you do start playing the mental gymnastics and it becomes a thinking man show when it's like, I just want to be entertained a little bit. Like, I don't want to have to fight with 12-year-old me.
Well, I mean, for a lot of it too, like because I rewatched A New Hope after I watched all 6 episodes again, and just kind of connect those dots a little bit. And I was like, a lot of this I can get past, like that line where he's like, the learner, now master. I was like, okay, I can still see it being these battles. Like now maybe he's stronger than ever. Because Obi-Wan really. He screwed him up. He messed him up bad in that last fight.
Well, he hurt him more with that last fight because that's what makes him the older, like struggling against old Ben. That's what ties back into 4 really well. But they didn't have to.
I think the only thing, like when people complain about this, I'm like, the only thing I ever complain about is that Alec Guinness and Prowse fight, lightsaber duel. After everything we've seen, everything that's come before, and it's like, yeah, all right, these are 2 old people just hitting each other with sticks. Like, come on. But, going back and like seeing like the 2 fights in this and how that came about and like who Obi-Wan was, to me, is the GOAT. He's the best Jedi there ever was. And I will die on that hill.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's awesome, but it's like, but then you have to create story too, right? Like, he's given up emotionally because we need to give him an arc to regain his strength. Like, so there's all those things, and then anywho, okay.
But you're also, I'm totally with you on the future stuff. Why don't we go forward or back? If we want to go back, go all the way back. Go thousands of years back when there's just Jedi everywhere, where there's Force users like crazy, and they're not at all the Jedi Order we know of. Like, that would be cool. Give us completely random stories that tie back into nothing.
I'm fine with any movies or shows having nothing to do with the Skywalkers. I'm okay with it. I don't care. Like, I wanted to see Obi-Wan again because I've always wanted to see Ewan stretch it a little bit more. And if they bring back a second season, whatever. I don't even care. Because I'm enjoying it. I do like it. I think overall, like these 6 episodes were fun and enjoyable. I'm tired of the spin-offs off of these shows and movies that they're creating. Like you guys are saying, just stop it. Like, I don't need a Boba Fett spinoff. It wasn't that great. Let's face facts. And, I would rather him just be part of the Mandalorian if that were the case. Like they do in that show anyway with his allies. Or just do somebody completely different like they did with the Mandalorian in the beginning. Like, I don't need it to connect to the Skywalkers in any way, or that whole saga. Just move on, So I'm with you, Jeff. Like, if they're going to make more movies, make them. Don't make it the Skywalker saga, and just do something different.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett basically was Mandalorian season 3. The only good episodes of Book of Boba Fett were the ones that were basically Mandalorian episodes.
The only ones.
Yeah. It was like, and it was just like, what are they doing? Why didn't they just call it the Mandalorian and then kind of, just kind of cut? But and like, who was sitting around going, would be really awesome? Boba Fett without his helmet the majority of the time. That would be really awesome because it worked really well with the 80s Captain America to do it that way. And so that was a big hit. And so maybe we should do that. Take the coolest part of Boba Fett, but give him a heart. Let's give him a heart.
Yeah, let's give him a heart. Let's keep him in a Bacta tank for like 4 episodes. Just
that's the other thing I'm not really loving. I know there was a Bacta tank, and I remember Luke Skywalker. They put him in one of those tanks, right? But they're starting to use this Bacta tank as a crutch.
Oh yeah,
it's like all of a sudden become a level up crutch. It's like, don't worry, he's all All right, I do have a couple of problems with Obi-Wan. One is both Reva, third sister, and the Grand Inquisitor. I don't get the whole stormtroopers die if they get nicked on the shoulder, but these two both took a 3-inch lightsaber through the chest, and both. I mean, Reva was, at least the Grand Inquisitor, there was a few episodes before he came back. But, I mean, Reva was up and running around Tatooine and 15 minutes later. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, right, it's like, they got to be like at least 3 inches diameter, like these lasers, let's just say, right? Mm-hmm. An entire hole through your body.
Inside
through your body. And then she's just okay. I mean, I go, well, it cauterizes it. It's still a fucking hole. Sorry. It's still a hole through your entire body.
It's a big fucking hole in the middle.
It's a lot of blood.
And not to mention, as a child, she had that too, right there in the same spot. So it's like, I don't imagine that protects you.
Maybe he just hit the hole again.
I don't.
Maybe that's what happened. It's just a donut. She's a donut now.
No, I don't think she got stabbed as a kid. Did she? I thought that was her just picturing it. I thought she got away.
I left it open. Clear. I wasn't sure.
I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, no, that was.
I thought Tala was an amazing character. What was the name of the robot that gave his life? That was
Ned something 09 or something like that.
Star Wars does a great job of making you really love droids. That droid didn't even talk, but that one was. I thought that was really cool, and then I loved young Leia.
Yeah,
but it says a lot about the show though that they had to go Leia versus Luke,
right?
Yeah,
because if you take Mark Hamill, and I know everyone, he's a god and a geek god and all that kind of stuff, but the Luke character itself was kind of.
Oh yeah, no,
it was simple.
It was kind of real. You're right. He didn't have much personality.
It was one-dimensional. There wasn't much going on there. He just wanted to get off the farm.
So they're like, "Well, we can't. What are we going to do with a young Luke? We can't give him an actual personality that wouldn't match." But Leia, oh God, a young Carrie Fisher, you know, that's like a spark waiting to happen. Like I thought she was great. And but it says a lot that they have to do that when his role was Luke, but they had to go Leia.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
there wasn't much there.
Right. Well,
not much source material.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, it's or they could have just gone a completely different direction. Also,
I think that's the thing I love about this series when it comes to Leia. It's just as much her and what inspired her to become the one who we know as it is to see what happened with Obi-Wan and that bridge. You know, she by the end is like, this is me now. She's watching Tala die, who inspired her, and watching all of the resistance, you know, this network of resistance, and obviously wanting to join the rebels, you know, down the line to lead them, you know, but that her character and the way she interacted with people was beautiful. She completely got the character. She was directed well. She did a great job with it. She was like a little spitfire. I really enjoyed her character in it. Like, you know, even like when she would get scared and kind of like roll her eyes. Like, we'll just
I thought she was amazing. Like I really felt like I was watching like a young Carrie Fisher, but without it being without it being Saints of Newark, where the guys pretending to be
young Tony Soprano,
or like Sylvia or something.
Oh,
like she wasn't doing an impression,
right?
An impersonation. It was, she embodied the spirit, and I
very much so. Yeah, she had the same pip and vinegar and was going, and it was great.
Yeah, they got a really good performance out of her.
I will tell you though, watching this show all day yesterday, and then watching A New Hope, when they blow up Alderaan, hurts a little bit more. Now that you've seen it.
Yeah, I thought about that too, and I thought it was like, that's one of the cool things that I think Obi-Wan did, was show you Alderaan, because we never had seen it really,
right?
And it was, you know, to see the like what a advanced society it was and all that kind of stuff, I thought was pretty cool actually. Yeah, that was one good thing.
Yeah, they really brought in the Bail Organa character as well, and how loved she was, and how they took care of her, and also that, you know, Senator Organa, this high up senator, was very into the rebellion at this early phase.
Yeah, Jimmy Smits was great. His wife was great. The person who played his wife was great. It's the Grand Inquisitor. I know he's from some of the cartoons. Is it the same as Rupert? The same guy who voiced him in the cartoons?
I don't believe so.
No, he's a different guy.
I found his voice to be quite a choice.
It was a choice.
It was, yeah. There was some things that I was just like, I don't know about this. It's very Star Wars right now.
And then why did Fifth Brother and Grand Inquisitor have this like circle thing on their back, but Reva didn't?
That was their lightsabers.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was her. Oh,
they just had him in the full open position versus she kept it on her hilt. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Rebels, they always carried it back there too.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
No, but I thought adding them, he didn't look great, but adding them, I thought was a good idea. I'm glad that they brought the Inquisitors in more, especially because they were so huge in the animated series and like what they were trying to do. And kind of giving a backstory to where they came from, to see that Reva started out as a youngling and kind of got brought in. I like that, but I liked her character a lot, but they had some issues with her storyline, her arc.
Well,
it's kind
so I mean, it's weird to talk. Let me just say before as I give my opinion of this character, that I think Moses Ingram is awesome. I think the fandom that attacked her are pieces of shit. No one deserves anything like that. Okay. Yep. So I've seen Moses Ingram and other things, enjoyed her tremendously in Queen's Gambit, whatever. Okay. I didn't think she had, and you can blame the director on this or whatever, but whatever ended up on film, I don't think had the emotional gravitas needed for the character and that story. It didn't click for me that was the part that kind of missed the idea of the character and what that person went through. But she always just seemed angry. But the way they wrote the character also, again, not on her, but just didn't make sense. I like just if we jump ahead just to the end with her going after Luke. Well, one, I didn't understand how her getting the Bail Organa message would have even why she would then think she had to kill that boy. I just maybe I missed something, but I don't understand how she threaded anything together. No one ever knew Leia was Vader's son. That was never revealed to anyone. So no one would have known this was her brother or connected in any way, right? And so unless she was just trying to hurt him to hurt Obi-Wan, but I don't get that. It's like her anger for Obi-Wan seems to go up and down towards her anger with Vader, and it really never. Obi-Wan just wasn't there. It was Anakin that was killing all the little kids, right? And it's and so for her to go after Luke at the end, it just didn't make sense based on everything she'd gone through. Why she would try and kill this 10-year-old boy, and then like having that moment where she didn't. Well, why would you have even gone into that moment? I didn't even get it. But that whole arc didn't work because I never got that she had that emotional issue. Like she seemed upset at times and like angry, but I never got that she was like so emotionally torn inside. I didn't get that from that. And, but it's hard, it's like when you're dealing with Ewan McGregor, who's 10 times better than every single other actor in the series.
Agreed.
It's it's kind of rough, but
you get the Hayden Christensen effect, and that side by side with the two of them, it's really difficult when the disparity is that great and skill, but also that when the direction is such that they're trying to pull this more emotion. I need you to be more emotional and pull from this place, and some people just don't emote that properly. And I struggled with connecting with her character out the gate. Thought it was great when I found out she was tied in as a youngling. That was brilliant. I got excited for her character again. And then, I agree. When the whole going after Luke, I was like, it's just kind of a weak tie-in. Like I see it, but it just really I didn't feel it. I wasn't there for it. It didn't make sense. I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I was almost like, because the whole motivation of like she's just trying to get back at Vader, like you don't catch on to that at all in the beginning. Like it seemed like she was desperate to move up the ladder. Of course, that being a ruse, she's really just trying to take Vader out. Which, first of all, if anyone in the Star Wars universe knows, don't just leave somebody for dead, wouldn't it be him? I feel like it would. Darth Vader would be
unless they didn't care that she was alive, but
yeah.
So the reason I gave it a 3.5, right? I thought Obi-Wan was enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't exist, our lives wouldn't change at all. Like there was nothing about this that really added to anything, right? I will say, and the things that I think people would go, no, well, this happened. And it was like, but that was all fan service, right? So, like in episode 5, which was a really good episode, visually with a lot of cool things. Like when he stops that ship and tears it apart. Like that, let's just be honest, that didn't even make sense. There's no way they could have predicted that he would have tore down the first ship. So let's all get in the second ship.
Yeah, get in the other one.
Yeah, let's all get in the other one because we know he's going to try and tear the first. I mean, right? I mean, it just made for one of the coolest visuals in Star Wars ever. Right. I'm not going to take that away, but but there's that, the fight scene, that even the second one, which I think was, the Apex one, like where, that was a great fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have to like, did they ever really meet up again? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And here's what I would have loved to have seen, by the way. I would have loved to have seen Vader going back to the ship after getting his ass handed to him and dealing with that. You know what I mean? Like, that would have been interesting. Somebody saying something to him and him snapping their neck. Like, like that would have been an interesting take on the character. Where is he? How many masks does he have?
Right.
But I will say one of the coolest things in Kenobi was when the mask is half, when he slices half that mask off. Spoilers are okay with this, right?
Yeah.
Spoilers, half the mask is off, right? And he's going into it's half Hayden Christensen's voice, and then sometimes is Vader.
Yeah, it just keeps dropping at the perfect time.
Yeah, somehow like that was to me such a nice touch.
Yeah,
such a nice touch.
Oh, yeah, because
Kenobi doing that pose.
Yeah, doing the pose again.
All like great fan service. Like, oh, this is great that we were able to see this. It's really cool. But I think that's, and then the cameo at the end.
Yeah, the cameo at the end was perfect, and then it did everything I wanted it to do. As a fan, it gave me all my service, and you're absolutely right. I wouldn't care if this didn't exist, and it gets a 4 from me because they did all the cool things right, and they did stuff I didn't want. The whole PTSD storyline, I was like, yeah, I get this is a thing. I don't want to feel this. I don't want to do this, but they did such a great job because it's Ewan McGregor, who's brilliant. So he absolutely gave that journey to me, and by the end, it's worth it. I think
that was one of the interesting things, that he didn't know that Vader was Anakin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I guess he wouldn't.
That was really interesting that he learned that in was it episode 1? He learned that, or episode 2? But the
episode 2, I think.
Yeah, that was,
he knew. Well, he knew Darth Vader.
He didn't know it was Anakin, though.
No. He knew Anakin turned into Darth Vader, but he didn't know that guy Vader was running around. He was completely out of it. So when he saw that guy walking for the first time, he hears Anakin's still alive. You didn't know, did you? And then he sees this imposing figure. He's like, Jesus Christ, what did I create? Like, this is This is Dr. Frankenstein coming face to face with the monster. Finally, that's what I loved about it. It was like he put all that together in his eyes. You saw it right on screen. It was like, he's alive. I just found this out, and now this guy is Vader now. Oh, Jesus, because at the end of Revenge of the Sith, they do mention that he's Vader now. But
I got the impression that he didn't know that Vader.
I don't think he knew. Yeah,
he got the impression like I was Reva's character put that information in his head. I think he just had been PTSD as he thought he had killed Anakin all these years.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I honestly thought he was at mentally too, which is what made it all more impactful.
Oh no, he didn't know Anakin was alive. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
He didn't know Anakin was alive. But he didn't know this big guy was Vader. He doesn't know anything about the Empire.
Fair. Actually, yeah, he didn't even know he was.
He's coming into it. He hasn't used the Force in 10 years. He's just been doing his thing hidden. Like, he knows these Inquisitors are looking for him, and he's heard tale, but he doesn't want anything to do with it. So he's never come face to face with Darth Vader in a suit. He doesn't even know that guy exists. Because he's never come out looking for him.
I forgot until just now. The Emperor's in it for a minute. Yeah, that's cool.
Who's your favorite cameo?
The whole Qui-Gon thing at the end is kind of like this is how I saw it. He's like, I appeared when you were ready. No, you appeared at the end, because if you had appeared earlier, it would have cost us a fortune, because we would have had to weave you into the storyline. That's why you just appeared at the end in the middle of the desert for 5 seconds.
Yep, because Liam Neeson is worth that much money. That was $25 million for that moment.
Are you serious?
No, but it feels right.
Okay,
feels right.
He pulled an Andrew Garfield. He completely lied about it until
whole way.
Oh, we knew.
Camille was great. Haja, the character Haja. I love that character. Nice.
He was hilarious, and I love that at the end. Obi-Wan's still inspiring people. That was really nice.
Oh yeah, I actually, one thing I would have liked to have seen with Vader at the end when he's talking to the Emperor is if the Emperor is now doubting him because he lost, and that's when we see Grand Moff Tarkin come in. Because they were, to say, for the Emperor to be like, this is going to be my liaison or whatever for the army, because they were always even until Tarkin died, and you could tell Vader did not like that.
Of course,
C-3PO was in the first episode.
Yep,
it was easy. It was a quick miss, but then the second time I was watching, it was with closed captions, and so it was. It was like,
where was he in the first?
He's in like the scene, like when the cousins come and like he's like in the background. That's what I'm saying. Like it's so easy to miss, and I would have missed it again, but the closed caption said C-3PO. Because sometimes they have that same droid, but he's like he's slightly different color or something.
The broken down, rusted one.
No, he was like full on C-3PO.
Oh yeah, no, this one was full on C-3PO, but then the other guy is that busted up version.
No, I think
doesn't have the jaw thing.
Are you talking about the silver one that looks just like C-3PO?
No, they had the gold. The gold one was in this one. When did they get R2-D2? Because at some point R2-D2 has to be part of the Organas, right? Because the two of them are on the ship together.
So he must have been there.
Yeah,
he was probably in there, but just not one of hers or something.
That's a really good question. Where else would he have gone to? Because he was Anakin's droid, and then he got on with Padme, so he was in Naboo, or no, he must have gotten off of the Organas.
Well, we may never know.
It depends. We might get a season.
That one is just gonna.
I heard they were gonna do a Reva spinoff, and I'm like,
it wasn't good enough of a story arc to spin it off, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to spin off here.
And I really don't.
Didn't they in the first episode have they had a Boba Fett clone? Was it, or was it in one of the episodes?
Yeah, the clone on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was great though, for him to look at this soldier who murdered his fellow Jedi Order, and he's just like gives him money anyway. Like it showed something of who Obi-Wan was.
That was great though. Well, he worked with a lot of them, I think, in the Clone Wars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he was big. Like he and Captain Rex were thick as thieves.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I'm glad they brought that in.
Indira Varma, I think, was awesome.
Huge highlight, man. I loved that subversive character as an officer. You get to see that spark of the rebellion, and she's fantastic. I love her. She was great in Luther. Big fan of hers.
And then the Vader voice was it was James Earl Jones, but it was, I think, all done with artificial intelligence.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't actual James Earl Jones.
Wow.
Yeah, they took his voice and the computers. That's what they can do now, which I thought was pretty cool.
That is awesome. That's how we got Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, and I loved that. I think he was awesome.
Yeah.
Do we think Hayden Christensen was actually in the Darth Vader suit?
He was. He was for interactions. There was 4.
It's kind of silly, isn't it? I mean, it's interesting because like it was always like David Prowse. Like it never mattered who was literally in the suit, right? Because it was like, in episode, I think it was 5, when they redid, not redid, but they added that fight scene between the two of them when they were Anakin and Obi-Wan,
which was awesome.
And then kept going back and forth.
Yeah,
so good, so
it's amazing.
So Hayden, it's funny. They probably didn't have to do much with Ewan because he pretty much looks the same. But like, Hayden, but I still bought it. It didn't. I thought it was really, really cool.
Yeah, I love that one. They did a fantastic job with that. The interspersing was done so well.
And it looked right out of that movie too.
Yeah, it did exactly. Yeah. Yep, it was perfect.
Well, I definitely liked it in that last lightsaber battle. Just the interaction when his helmet was broken, like you said, the voice was changing in and out, but how they did it and seeing the featurette where they're saying, it would be Anakin talking and then go like as he becomes more evil, it starts sounding more like Angel Jones, and then kind of cutting in and back and forth. I really appreciated that. But one thing they had mentioned in a couple of the breakdowns was the light changing. When he's full on evil.
That red.
It's the red, and in Obi-Wan is blue. But when you see glimpses of Anakin, when Anakin says to him, that's not your failure, there's blue on his face. And then it immediately goes right back to red. But in his eye is always a little blue because there's always a little bit of Anakin left.
Always a hope.
Yep. As we see later on.
Don't spoil it.
What could possibly happen?
Don't ruin it. So funny science fiction is doing this exact thing tomorrow.
Awesome.
So we'll be able to compare. Then we can have one of those versus films. Someone can clip them.
I love it. Yes, the versus off. Who Kenobi'd harder?
All right, now we all have to sword fight. Get your lightsabers
There's a
out.
lot of connotations. It's lightsaber.
Yeah, I know.
She had a pretty Reva had a pretty cool lightsaber though. It's I love how they try and come up with new lightsabers. So it's like to make new toys.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Cash in.
Everything's about a toy. But,
and I was really stoked about Rukin, O'Shea Jackson's character. It was great seeing him again because he was great in NWA, Straight Outta Compton. He was wonderful in that. So I was really happy to see him in this. It was a fun character and another push towards that Obi-Wan, given the possibility of just sparking the rebellion.
Yeah, Rokin's character.
Rokin's character.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, they were all good.
Yeah, nothing really pulled me out of it. The Inquisitor was meh because the death thing was weird. I don't know. It's like, okay, maybe he's an alien. I'll buy it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's again, it was enjoyable. I thought it was definitely enjoyable. I would push to a 4 if you guys really wanted me to, but
no, hey, you believe in yourself.
It's enjoyable, but if you never watched it, your life wouldn't be changed at all.
Agreed.
That's the only thing. But
I agree.
But it's not a bad thing. There's enough in it, I think, that makes it fun, and you don't regret watching it. That's for sure.
Absolutely not. It doesn't take anything away.
There's enough cool stuff.
Yep.
And also, with everything, in terms of Obi-Wan, I really enjoyed being able to see some of what he was going through. Not for nothing, just to understand why she's so desperate in believing that Obi-Wan is her only hope in A New Hope.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't make. That's the one thing that thread they couldn't figure out. C-3PO. Why didn't C-3PO remember?
They wiped his brain.
They wiped his brain out. Yeah. But Leia doesn't act like she knows him at all in Star Wars: A New Hope. That part. That's the only part that's weird because this was quite a bonding moment the two of them had.
Very memorable.
Yeah, but I can let it go.
I mean, she did. There's not really anything that says she doesn't know him.
Well, it's just like you go. If I went to you, Mick, all of a sudden and go, Mick, you fought besides Casey Ryan plot. you used to do. I mean, it's just like it just. Yeah, you fought beside my father in the Clone Wars or whatever. It's like
no, it should definitely be like, hey, remember when you saved me from?
Yeah, remember when we hung out and we almost all died, and then you saved me, and then and it inspired me to do everything I'm doing now. But when I need you, I don't remember who you are.
Yeah, you were that guy from that thing.
Yeah. But we can let that go, right? We could always say she was 10. She kind of forgot. You know what I mean?
Puberty was crazy on that girl. Forgot
8 years later. 11, I don't remember you. No, I did like it. Or you could always say this: she only knew him as Ben, and she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope."
But she kind of knows who she's.
I'm pretty freaking sure at that point she's getting bedtime stories about Obi-Wan.
I mean, how many people, how many major J? And then when he shows up. You think? Actually, do they ever even cross paths?
No, they actually don't.
No, they never cross paths.
Yeah.
Because he dies as she's running to the ship, to the Falcon.
Which would have made
because then you'd have that issue too.
That would be a big hole.
Listen, I think that issue is a small hole compared to.
I can get past that. She was 10. I can't remember anybody I knew at 10.
Sure.
I would even stretch it to be like, she knew who he was, but she's like playing to his heartstrings of being close with her father. I don't know. But here's what bugs me is we get Luke's aunt and uncle doing as much as they did to protect him. And then I watch A New Hope and I'm like, they burned. Well, I got nothing here. Got a whole farm. We got. They've been working.
They knew she was coming.
Yeah.
I mean, they were prepared. I could see
I'm talking about.
I could see a Ben Baru spinoff that I could get behind. But the
Just saying,
like a life on the farm thing.
Welcome to moisture farming, but it's done in like a TLC reality show.
Yeah, exactly. And they have like Paris Hilton and come and they do stuff. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. But I like those characters. Those characters I like. And it was nice to see them a little more because Beru was a badass. She was, and they almost took down Reva pretty good. So
she was awesome. She was my favorite. Seeing her, it made 4 so much more impactful as their corpses are smoldering. So it actually made me care about them and go, well, that was problematic. Yeah. And then obviously, then what's he going to do? Does he just keep the moisture farm? Does he have to sell it? Is it like, do you rent to farm kind of thing? I don't know. The politics of Tatooine seem problematic.
Is it amazing if you think about it, right? Star Wars 1977, right? That's the same set.
Yep. The same set. Looked awesome.
Yeah.
Everything was so cool. I like how you kind of get into it a little bit, and I like seeing Owen, and I like seeing Beru more, and then kind of even get into it. Like I liked when he's like, Ben's not here, and she goes, "Whose fault is that?" And like she looks right at him.
Exactly. But I never understood why he had a big issue with them. So.
Yeah, they didn't really elaborate on that too much, but I kind of just figured it was you're too dangerous for Luke. Get out of here, sort of thing. Maybe. More protective than anything.
It seemed pretty prejudiced towards those gosh darn Jedi.
He did anyway. Maybe it's because Beru liked them so.
He's easy on the eyes out in this here desert planet.
This dude's like, I gotta contend with the best looking guy in the galaxy here. Come on, man, get him out of here.
That's fair.
It's funny. Now that's funny.
Well, if there is a season 2, where do you guys see it going? I don't think you can connect Luke and Leia anymore. I think you gotta leave it alone. But where does Obi-Wan go from here?
If it goes anywhere, man, outside of the trash can, it would actually probably for a second season wind up somewhere in him just sitting around and talking to Qui-Gon. I hope it's like becomes a show just like a Real Housewives, where they just it's kind of his normal daily life and just an average week for him. Almost like 24. It's done hour by hour breakdown of just Obi-Wan just meditating. So that way maybe we learn to have some inner peace. That's what it's for.
It'd be like him going to whatever their version of IKEA is and working his little cave and getting some of that furniture.
Oh yeah.
Maybe kind of you learn that because they went out of their way to show Tuskens aren't that bad. Maybe he's got a backgammon thing going with them.
Nice.
They like play backgammon on Wednesdays. And like stuff like that.
Yeah, it's perfect. He's got a little pickle barrel set up. And they have their game set up out there. They have a blast. They bring the banthas in. He's been working on his moisture farm that he's going to show you. His own work at home moisture farm is pretty cool. A little DIY action.
I'm thinking Odd Couple. Let's get an Odd Couple remake with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan.
They can't make a sequel now without Qui-Gon. So,
well, of course.
That's where all the budget goes to. It's just going to take place in the cave.
Being annoyed by the ghost.
Right. Maybe. Can they bring Yoda in? Oh, Yoda's not. Oh, Yoda's alive, though.
Yeah, Yoda's still kicking.
Yoda's alive.
They go over to the Dagobah special, Better Homes and Gardens.
Right. Maybe they go to Dagobah and just hang out.
Yeah, there you go. It'd be great. Eat that terrible soup.
Jedi you seek. Sorry, that was horrible. They
I love it.
I loved it.
It was perfect, Jeff. You know that.
It was awesome. We'll fix it in post.
I didn't practice. It was
I did that earlier. I did a review of Beavis and Butthead. And I tried to do the voice, and I immediately nosedived in the video, and it was live, so it's just like, Casey's not here. I'm just doing my best.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool though. I'm sure it was like absolutely wonderful and didn't suck at all.
See, and you're making me feel worse for it, you dick. But no, I will say again. Let's go over rankings one more time. Anything change? Anything leaning more? Jeff, going towards 4?
Well, I'll leave it 3.5. I'll stick to my guns only because you can round up. You can take that however you want it.
It's where whatever fits in your life.
It's not a bad review. It's out of 5, right? So it's definitely towards the beginning, the upper. But yeah, I think I'll stick with that.
I actually can see myself moderating down a bit, but I'm standing at 4 just because the awesome final lightsaber scene when Obi-Wan gets his groove back and just throws down. That was good fan service.
That was great. Yeah, I'm going to stick with a 4. I mean, there's some decisions I just didn't agree with, and I agree with you guys on a lot of your takes on it. But I know, having rewatched it again, like the only other Star Wars show I've rewatched is Mandalorian season 1. I haven't even gotten and redone season 2 yet. So, I just think it has a rewatchability factor, and that's a big thing for me. So, but
all right.
Nice. All right, well, I'm a big Jedi file. So really anything that's Jedi heavy like Ahsoka, I'm going to be super into.
Yes, I cannot wait for that.
Ahsoka, I feel like, is going to be all fan service.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, but you can introduce a lot with her and kind of going forward. I have a feeling that's going to be a better show than even The Mandalorian.
Wow.
We hope. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? I mean, it's like people say Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad. Well, of course, it should be. They came off of Breaking Bad and they had all the lessons learned. They're not going to make a worse show.
Exactly.
I mean, you'd hope that. I mean, isn't that how all life works? The first thing you do and the next thing you do is better. But it's better because you did the first thing. So it's like if Mandalorian, like they're all learning, so then hopefully then it'll be boom, But Ewan McGregor definitely carried this show hard. Like it's his massive talent that I think really, 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 made this worth
for you,
watching.
Jeff, bang for your buck. Who was the best side character out of all of them?
I think Kumal was great. And then Tala was, I think, tremendous. Yeah. But I don't want to take away from, I don't consider Vivian, Leia Organa, young Leia, a side character. So
yeah, she's main.
Yeah, she's main. Yeah. So
I'd go Tala.
Tala was great. Tala was awesome. I mean, from an actress point of view, yeah. I mean, she killed it. Like really, did. Like you felt bad. Which one?
O'Shea Jackson, who played Roken.
Okay, yeah, he was good, but I don't think he was good. But I don't think they used him this as well as Tala. I think Tala's character, I think for some reason just carried. Like when she died, you're like, oh man.
Tala was perfect because she gave you that rebellion and then all the sacrifices those early rebellion causes went through. The same thing we felt in Rogue One, the same thing, and she did it in 3 episodes. Like got you into that feeling, and then the hurt and the loss. Like, damn.
Like I feel like Roken was built up. So in the next series, when Roken comes back, Roken's Tala. I mean, that level of gravitas.
Yeah.
I mean.
That's that's what I'd like to see. If you're gonna spin something off, do the start of the rebellion. Bring Roken, do a TV show where he's trying to get the rebellion started. And really pushing for it, because there is that network that they had there, and I would love to see that kind of push.
And think about the scale we're talking about. Like you can do an episode or a whole series of a guy going to a planet to try to build up the rebellion on a planet that is only that's a lot of story there.
Yeah, a lot of story, a lot of good stuff.
We also have Andor coming out at the end of August, so we'll see what happens with that.
Have they filmed it? I don't believe it till they film it.
They have filmed it. The trailers are out. Everything's getting ready to go.
Are those really the trailers, or is that fan trailers?
Yeah.
Who knows at this point? I can't keep up. But I want to say thank you, Jeff, so much for joining us tonight. It's a lot of fun to talk about Obi-Wan. I was really excited for this. And,
well, thanks for having me. It was awesome to hang out with you guys. It's been a while since we hung out like this, so very cool.
Yeah, man. Always a good time. Thank you. Remember, everybody, go check out Jeff. The link is down below. Classic Conversation is a really fun interview show. Make sure you're listening to it. And crossing the streams, it's just, if you look for something to watch, you're going to find it on there.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. And sometimes one of us even wind up on it accidentally. It's great.
Yes.
Yes.
And anytime you want me, I got new shows to pump. I'm watching The Bear right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have you on. Shoot me some Wednesdays that you're free.
That's how I get. That's how I get on.
You, Casey.
That's how I get on. I have to make sure to get Jeff live.
You can't take it away. You try to talk over it. Jeff just offered.
Yeah, no, I know. I heard him. But I have to get
Call
him
me,
on a live
Casey.
show in person.
Sorry, Casey's on already.
Oh my god!
Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Case, for joining in. I'm going to let you take it away in just 1 second. I'm just going to everybody go over to thescenesnobs.com. If you like this video, please hit like, subscribe to the channel. Check out our podcast, the Scene Snobs Podcast, which is live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Or you can go and listen to it anytime after that on all podcast platforms. Casey, go right ahead, my friend. Take it
Always
away.
appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope we gave a little light and made your day a little happier. We appreciate you. Be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Thank you. Good night.
May the force be with you.
Yes. As always, I can't say it any better than they just did. So stay tuned, stay geeky, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our link tree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.